Hi everyone, welcome back to our fifth film around paediatric first aid.
Now we all know kids can be thrill-seeking, risk-taking adventurers.
And you should encourage your children to explore the world and be curious.
However, they might get themselves into trouble and there's no doubt that one day they will injure themselves.
It may be something minor,
or it might be something a bit more serious like a broken bone.
So in this film, we will be concentrating on common minor injuries and how you can help your child out.
Our first piece of advice is no matter what injury, give your child plenty of reassurance, even if the injury has made you angry or upset, or it was their fault to begin with.
They were probably just being curious and they need to break some boundaries to learn.
Children are a lot smaller than we are and their pain thresholds are very different. Helping your child with an injury is a great way to bond with them and make them feel safe and secure around you.
So let's start with cuts, grazes and bruises.
With minor cuts and scrapes, you'll want to pour plenty of drinking water over the wound. Get rid of any bits that might be left in there.
You can then pat the wound dry with something clean like a tea towel or tissue, making sure you're not putting anything back into the wound.
If it is still bleeding a little, that's fine. This will also help wash out the germs.
Your final step is to pop on a plaster and give your child a big hug. If you come to the wound and find that there is a large object there, most of the time it's best to leave this to a medical professional.
If you remove an object that is deep within the tissue, you can cause further damage or bleeding.
Instead, pack clean bandages around the object and call 111 for medical advice, or 999 if it's an emergency and life-threatening.
Bruises.
They run and trip into anything, walls, doors and even concrete floors. Your kid's bound to come back black and blue after a play session in the park.
If they get a particularly good shiner, apply an ice pack or a frozen item from the freezer around the tea towel and onto the bruise.
Apply with pressure for at least 10 minutes.
You can also run the bruise under cold water if you have no ice.
Nosebleeds.
It's true, you know, picking your nose will lead to nosebleeds.
Yeah, but it's worth it when they taste so good.
Rank.
Anyway, if your child has a nosebleed, sit them down and put their head forward.
Pinch the soft top part of their nose for 10 minutes.
Get them to breathe through the mouth whilst you mop up the blood. Remember to keep that nose pinched.
If the bleeding continues for half an hour or is severe, take your child to the hospital, making sure they are sitting upright.
Ask your child not to breathe through their nose for a couple of hours and get them to avoid hot drinks, picking or blowing their nose for 24 hours.
If your child is getting regular nosebleeds, you should go and see a doctor.
So these are some minor injuries you may come across, but it's worth knowing how to deal with them.
Be calm, reassure your child and make clear judgment calls. This will help put you, your child and others around you at ease.
You can't keep them wrapped up in cotton wool all the time.
See you next time.
Sorry. No! Dude, you did something with your mouth there, I swear. I heard a noise and I went...